Yo, what's good YouTube? I am back with another reaction video, and we got 7 times Larry Bird disrespected NBA players. Shout out the latest hoops for this video. Definitely about to get straight into this video, y'all. You know I ain't gonna waste no time. Let's get it, man. We straight into this video.
Merry effing Christmas. Sounds like a quote from a movie, except it's not. Well, maybe it is, but since this isn't a movie channel or anything, then I think you know we're obviously talking about basketball. Actually, we are strictly talking about Larry freaking Bird. That quote is just one of the few quotes that NBA legend Larry Bird is notorious for. Larry Bird was as savage as they come, and really, there have been many trash talkers and disrespectful players in the NBA, like Kobe, Gary, the GOAT himself, and many more. But no one took it to such lengths and extremes like Larry Bird. And if you don't believe us, Michael Jordan said this about Larry Bird during an interview. Larry Bird is the greatest trash talker and mind game player of all time. He taught me everything I know about getting in folks' heads. MJ isn't the only NBA player that could testify to this. Magic Johnson had this to say: "A lot of guys talk trash, but Larry could back his trash talking up." We're talking about the same dude that played with his left hand because he was saving his preferred right hand for another game and still managed to score 40 points. If that's not freaking insane, I seriously doubt you understand what that word means. Larry Bird is not only one of the most disrespectful players the game has ever seen, but also the best trash talker in NBA history, because he made sure he did what he said he was gonna do. And there was absolutely nothing you could do about that. The man was predicting the damn future, and all you could do was watch him make it come to pass. That's why, for no obvious reason, we've decided to spice up your day with some Bird toast. Click the like button when you get it. Before we get into the video, if you want to win a PS5 with NBA 2K21 and Madden NFL 21 included, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. Our Bird story begins with a mini rivalry involving Person and Larry. The height of their rivalry has got to be at the memorable 1991 playoff series. It was a Christmas game between the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers, and Bird made sure he made it a day that Person would never forget. Around this time, Larry was already approaching the end of his career, while Person was just getting into his prime. Larry was struggling with some severe back problems, and those around him weren't exactly sure how much longer he could go on for. Larry was going through so much pain that there were reports from his teammates that he was struggling to wear his own uniform, but the series was tied up and Larry knew he just had to get on with it. Chuck Person, on the other hand, who was also known as the Rifleman, had a personal beef with Larry. Actually, both players felt the same about each other. Person told the media before a Christmas game that he was going bird hunting. When Larry heard this, the man who loves a challenge himself told Person that he had a Christmas present for him. During the game, Bird shot a three-pointer, turned around and looked at Person, who was sitting on the bench, and then delivered one of the best punchlines of the century: "Merry effing Christmas." And then he ran back down the court as the shot went in. Fast forward to the deciding game between the Pacers and Celtics in 1991. The fact that it was a title-deciding game made it an event in itself, but the rivalry between Person and Larry made it even more interesting. The game would turn out to be just as interesting as everyone thought it would be. Very competitive, with both teams pulling all their strength and resolve to win the game. However, with 4 minutes left to go in the first half, Larry Bird landed on his face after attempting to catch a loose ball, and he immediately had to head back to the locker room. Apparently, Larry broke his cheekbone, so the Boston Celtics had to continue without their main man. With Larry out of the game, the Celtics struggled to get a hold on the game, much to the delight of Person, who was having fun on the court being cocky, thinking that he and his team would emerge into the next round. However, Bird was watching all of this from inside and couldn't stand watching Person and the Pacers flaunt their ego on the court. With 6 minutes left in the third quarter, Larry returned to the court to shut Person up. Larry was welcomed with a much-deserved standing ovation. It was obvious. Person was looking at Larry and thinking, "Well, isn't this the second coming of Christ?" Well, it wasn't Christ that day, but Larry. With Larry back in the game, the Celtics were back in cruise control and took the game from the Pacers. From there on, Larry ended the game with 32 points. In your face, Person.
Yeah, it is a little special because I've known Chuck for a while and we've always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
This time, it was Clyde Drexler that stood in the way of Larry in a game against the Portland Trailblazers. Clyde was given perhaps one of the most difficult tasks anyone could have given to a rookie, to guard Larry Bird. This obviously didn't sit well with Larry, who was not feeling the Clyde. So he looks at Clyde and says to him,
"You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He goes, "Confident? You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me.
By the end of the game, Larry had gone to score 10 straight points on Clyde, and then he walked past the guy and started laughing at him. This time, Larry decided to pick on someone his own size, Magic Johnson. Unfortunately, Magic Johnson got injured during the matchup with the Celtics, but that didn't stop Bird from walking up to Johnson to have a word with a player who at the time was the face of the NBA. Magic looks at Larry and says, "I've got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing." Larry replies,
"Man, I'm sorry you're not playing, but he said, I'm gonna tell you what, since you're here, I'm gonna put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay?" And I'm like, "Man, get out of my face, man."
And here's what happened next. Every time Larry hit a basket, he looked at Magic. The disrespect. Larry was one of the most competitive players in the NBA. The man wasn't afraid of—
Hold on, now he was not trying to disrespect. I think he was just saying he was going to put on a show for him. But I think he's wrong about that one.
Of anyone, and he showed it night in and night out. Larry also knew he was a threat to the rest of the team in the league, and that's why he was always angry when rivals didn't show him the respect he felt he deserved. Charles Barkley told a story of when Bird was angry after the Philadelphia 76ers put a white player on Larry. Barkley says that Larry was so angry that he was cursing under his breath, so Barkley asked him what the problem was, and Larry just replied, "You guys are being disrespectful to me. You guys are putting a white guy on me. It's disrespectful when you guys put a white guy on me." Larry Bird wasn't just competitive, he had the skill and brain to complement it. The man was thinking 3 moves ahead of other players in the game. Even at 6'9", Larry wasn't exactly the most athletic person on the court, and he was aware of it. Larry Bird once made the claim that basketball was a black man's game due to the fact that African American players were more superior to whites when it came to physique and natural athleticism. Larry was aware of this, and that's probably why he hated when the opposing team would defend him with a white guy. For him, it was a show of disrespect to his talent, skill, and achievement in the game. Larry believed if he was a white dude dropping 30 to 40 points in a game that's dominated by more athletic players, then why the hell should you put a white guy to guard him? For him, that was a piece of cake. This one happened in a game against the Seattle Supersonics where Bird was being guarded by Supersonics forward Xavier McDaniel. In the 80s, Xavier McDaniel was one of the most popular players in the league, and he was known for being very physical. With the match tied late in the game, Larry decided to take on the player who was guarding him and said to him, "I'm going to get the ball right here and I'm going to shoot it right in your face." McDaniels just responded by saying, "I know, I'll be waiting." After a timeout, Bird made 2 baseline cuts, then posted in the exact spot he had indicated to McDaniel, paused, turned, and made it in his face. After making the shot, Larry realized that there were still 2 seconds left before the buzzer hit, so he turned to McDaniel and said, "I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock." Jeez. McDaniel said all he could remember doing was walking back to the sideline.
Every player that ever come from Indiana and shot a 3-pointer in his face, all net. We was like, Larry Legend is at it again.
The 3-point shot was first introduced in the NBA during the 1979 NBA season, the same year Larry began his professional basketball career. 7 years later, the NBA brought the first 3-point shooting contest at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, which Larry won. He won the second contest in Seattle the following year and was looking to win the 3rd consecutive one to complete the three-peat in the All-Star Weekend at Chicago. In those first 2 competitions, Larry had proved to both himself and the entire NBA that he was the best long-distance shooter in the league by a mile, and he wanted those that were competing with him to be aware of that. So Bird walked into the All-Star locker room just before the game started, stared at everyone, and asked one of the cockiest questions. Which one of you is coming second?
We had a 3-point contest at the All-Star break, and Larry walks in and says, "I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this." Excuse me?
The room went dead silent, even though there were many great shooters there, especially Dale Ellis, who had one of the sweetest shots the league had ever seen. But there was no question about Larry Bird and his talent. He wanted them all to know that he was going to win, and there was nothing any of them could do about it. How did the contest go? Larry won it, of course. And he did it with his sweatshirt on. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I think he was telling his other competitors that, y'all can't make me sweat.
With names like Al Capone and John Dillinger, Chicago's had some memorable shootouts. Maybe not stakes this hot, but nobody cooler under pressure. You really thrive in this.
Well, it's a lot of fun. You know, the guys come out, and it's a little bit harder than it looks. I got out there, and I knew I had to beat 15 points. I just took my time and made some shots at the end, and everything worked out for me.
Dennis Rodman is one of the best defenders in NBA history. Rodman was annoying to beat, and he knew how to use his quick feet and long arms to annoy and provoke scorers across the league. He never stopped guarding, never stopped getting in the face of scorers. However, when Rodman was just starting out, he got some schooling from Larry. After Bird made 4 straight baskets with Rodman guarding him, he went over to Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly, and asked, "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Then he'd continue the banter the next time he got the ball with Rodman just a few inches away, this time almost screaming, "I'm open! Hurry up before they notice no one is guarding me." Rodman also had this to say, "I would be all over him, trying to deny him the ball, and all Larry was doing was yelling at his teammates, 'I'm open! Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me.' Then he would stick an elbow in my jaw and stick the jumper in my face. And then he would start in on my coach. 'Coach, you better get this guy out and send in somebody who's going to D me up, because it's too easy when I'm wide open like this.'" Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos.
Alright.
We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot.
Keep shooting your shot. Yeah. This is the real reason NBA players cheat. Whatever. Cheating is a choice. You ain't forced to cheat. But yeah, that was a good video right there, man. Shout out to latest hoops. Definitely had a good video right there. I think he was wrong about that whole Magic Johnson thing, saying that he looked at him and just trying to be disrespectful. As I can remember, I know he looked at him to say that he was gonna make sure he put on the show for him, because I know they was cool with each other. So I think that one was kind of wrong. Maybe some other stuff I might have missed too, but let me know in the comments if anything was wrong. But yeah, man, I'm on to the next video, man. Subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, turn on that bell, man. I'm uploading every single day. And yeah, that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up here. I also got a second channel called DATPHILLYBOINAH Reacts, REACTS. So definitely you know, hit me up on there. And that channel I just cover all of like all different kind of things. Like I do sports, I do music videos, I do all different kind of things. You know, the only reason why I did that channel is because, for one, I'm trying to grow more and more as I can, and also I just love YouTube, man. I just love doing this reactions. It's something I always wanted to do since I've been, like, I don't know how old, but it's just something I grew up seeing and stuff, and you know, I always wanted to do that. And it's just following my dreams, man. Never give up on your dreams, y'all. Just follow your dreams. But yeah, I do a lot of sports. I do, you know, I do a lot of stuff. So yeah, just check out that channel. If y'all wanted me to do videos in that channel too, I definitely will do them. But yeah, I'm just trying to be a little bit different on that channel. So yeah, that's about it, man. On to the next video. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.